Chateau Laurier is so well done. Um, in particular, the costuming and the set design was just so incredibly believable. I bought into this world right away. And there's so many interesting characters in this, and I'm so curious to see all of the different paths and all of the different stories that will be told around them. Just fascinating. I also was really impressed with the diversity of the casting. I love that it was set in Ottawa, Canada. Um, yeah, everything about this was fantastic. I actually ended up watching all of the episodes, and it was just fantastic. And yeah, the performances were amazing, and I feel like this. I don't know if there's like another season of it or what have you, but I really hope this gets out to people because it's so incredibly well done.
All right, I just finished watching the first 9 minutes of Chateau Laurier. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I enjoyed this piece, the opening from what I saw so far, mainly because the production value and the stylistic aesthetic was so well done. The costume design, the setting of the house, and I thought just the characters present within this world all felt very realistic and had a really great sense of style and aesthetic. I thought almost everyone on screen was able to give their particular character a sense of personality. Excuse me. And some depth in terms of their characterization in a short amount of time that I thought really worked well. I thought that the inevitable death that changes the dynamic was a sort of classic conceit from this type of setup, and I thought that the piece really sort of had a self-awareness and an understanding of the type of stories that are normally told in the setting, and had a way of staying faithful to that, but also trying to create a component of originality a component of originality around it that I felt like gave it a good sense of style and made it feel sort of inherently relatable to someone, even if they weren't sort of were super into this particular genre. I thought this piece did a good job of giving a nice representation of the type of humor in particular, the type of sort of dry humor, understated sense of drama and comedy that can work in this type of setting. And I thought this piece had a good grasp of that ultimately. So I ended up enjoying it and thought it was a good setup for what would be the furthering of the story later on. So I enjoyed it in that sense.
Everything on this film just looked so fantastic. The filmmakers were so smart creating this world, and to do a period piece and to really dot all of the I's and cross all the T's. The costumes were amazing, the sets, the locations. I loved their creative use of light and shadow. It definitely, when things got a little bit more shadowy, it added to the mood of it. All of the actors were amazing, very, very believable. I liked the story. There was a cool mystery that was going on that I felt like I wanted to see solved. So this was really well done.
Chateau Laurier definitely, in the first episode, leads you on this wild chase of mysteries. Already off the bat, I'm just asking so many questions about why and what happens next. It's very good at setting up that mystery of why was he killed, and why was the will set up in the way that it was. I'm very intrigued to learn more about this as it goes on. But yeah, I definitely loved the first episode.
Chateau Laurier. This was a interesting crime kind of movie, split between crime and comedy. It gave me like some Knives Out vibes, like it kind of remind me of Knives Out. We have this wedding, and we don't really know. At some point, obviously, someone gets shot and gets killed out of nowhere, and we don't really know who was it. So we have all these in a lot of info to take in that they're probably gonna be obviously developed in the following episode. But I think as a first episode, it was very engaging. We don't know who killed. We don't know who was the killer. We don't know who hired the killer. And then we have the final testament being read. and we understand we have the first glimpse of the two major characters in the movie that now have something between them that's gonna be after the testament has been read. We understand that they are on two opponent teams, and so it's gonna be a nice fight in the next few episodes. So overall, very well done, short and very engaging. Congratulations.
Chateau. I thought this was really, really interesting. Typically I enjoy period pieces. I think they're a lot of fun because you can play a lot, especially when you know, obviously you have all the historical backing behind you already, so you can do a lot of like fun research, and you know, can set things up, and you know, just kind of, like I said, play around with it, because for the most part I think we all learned general history, and different histories are definitely going to highlight different things, but getting to like immerse yourself in that kind of world I think is really fun in general. And then kind of basing it on a chateau I thought was really brilliant, as far as the setting goes, because you have the ability to kind of intermingle all these different storylines and have a lot of crossover, but be running a lot of different storylines at the same time in a place like a chateau. So I thought that was really, really great. That's always good fun. But then I loved how far you kind of covered, and the relationships you kind of went through I thought were amazing. And you know, you went on a journey with all these different characters, and I thought starting it off with a wedding was so smart, because it's just so drama filled and dynamic anyway. That's such a great jumping off point. And then you go through an incredible amount where you're meeting all these characters and you're trying to figure out all their relationships interspersed with each other, and there's a ton of drama, which is always, like I said, great fun. And you hit these amazing different like great life like what is the like milestones almost, but like for your life. So you have like the wedding that it starts off with, and then ending on a funeral I thought was a great kind of way to bring kind of full circle from where you started with the wedding, and then especially highlighting the relationships, especially as people are starting to leave and you're getting down to a smaller group of people that are still there, and just highlighting the differences in the journey throughout it of those kind of core people I thought was really, really amazing.
This series is very reminiscent of Downton Abbey, Anne with an E, and several of these other shows that are really in demand right now with marrying into a rich family. It kind of starts in a way that you want to keep going. It's very dramatic. It has a great opener where you're just drawn into it and you want to know what happens next, and you feel for the bride where she's married into this, and it's clear she was in agreement. You're wondering what's going on with Vivian, where even his own father thought he needed to marry well in order to inherit anything, and that his sister gets to take over everything at a time where women were not allowed to do that. So it does make you wonder more about his background. This is a very gripping way to start a series. It's a way that you really want to know more. You want to know exactly what's going on, and the dialogue, the story altogether, the characters, it draws you in immediately, and you want to know more of what's going on.
Chateau Laurier. What a gorgeous setting this hotel made for this early 20th century period piece that was a grand saga, murder mystery / love story. One thing stood out for me was that the film didn't focus on the investigation of the murder, which was wonderful because it lent to more time to look at the relationships and how the murder affected everybody in the inheritance of the hotel. I enjoyed the character Hattie, and the actress that played her really fit the part, as well as Miss Breyer, very strong, really good, I thought, in the presence, the camera, really took her in. The young chambermaid that played Violet, she was a real natural. I was drawn to her and her character. The production was very professional and large. I liked how the street scenes also had the flavor of the era, equal to that of the interior shots of the hotel, and just what a beautifully made film.